It's a different green chair, but the green chair is back.
I'm back, but I'm also a different me. Not really, I've always been the same. By different me, I more so mean I'm ready to get back into being more serious about writing, and October and November are the perfect times to do that because it's Preptober and then NaNoWriMo is next month. For those of you who don't know, NaNoWriMo is a National November Writing Month. So basically it's National Writing Month and a bunch of writers decide to torture ourselves and write 50,000 words in 30 days. That's roughly, I think, like 1,200 words a day. And Preptober is all of October when we prep those projects for NaNoWriMo. I'm Erica and I have this YouTube channel to help you connect with your confidence, whether that be through writing, tarot. I haven't really decided yet. And if you want to see my Preptober and NaNoWriMo updates over the course of the month, be sure to drop me a follow on Instagram at edricochet. And yeah, let's just get into today's video, which is all about brainstorming my ideas. So last month I actually ended up doing 2 projects in NaNoWriMo. I succeeded in both of them, which is strange. I wrote 50,000 words of just like a fiction story that probably won't ever really get anywhere, and I don't really mind that. And then also I finished a rewrite of a book I'd written previously. It was a complete rewrite, same basic plot ideas. That was like a futuristic, dystopian, utopian world, which isn't really trendy right now with books, but... So again, like I said, this year I'd like to pick 2 or 3 projects. On the list of my brainstorms are a bit of a smaller projects, and I'm definitely one of those people. I need 2 projects. I'm crazy, I like to torture myself, but I need 2 different projects to work on during NaNoWriMo so I don't get burnt out about the one project. But I was more reasonable this year and gave myself some more reasonable project. I just wanted to briefly talk about challenges this NaNoWriMo. It happens to fall in November, which is always Thanksgiving season and Black Friday season, and because of that a lot of people always travel. They go to their families, their friends' houses, and they can go for weeks at a time, which can be really distracting from writing. And I remember last year trying to do NaNoWriMo at Thanksgiving and like finding some time to sit at the dining table by myself. I literally remember like I migrated over there for some alone time, and then all the cousins slowly started coming. What are you working on? What are you writing? What's it about? Do you want to read something I've written? OMG, can I read it? No, I tried to get away from you. The struggle as a writer is real. Without further ado, let's get into the story ideas that I have for this year. So as I briefly mentioned, last year I did a rewrite of a futuristic, utopian, dystopian story, which is called Prescient. It's about a girl who can see the future, lives in a dome, and that dome gets broken open and she discovers that her government's been lying to her about the way the world works the entire time. You know, classic stuff. It has a very environmental focus. So for this NaNoWriMo, I thought for one of my projects it would be fun, it would be good to work on editing and refining it into something a bit more ready to be published and or self-published. My second and third idea kind of go hand in hand. I'd like to dabble into the world of nonfiction. Last year I took a couple nonfiction classes for my writing program and my writing degree and learned that I actually really enjoy it. I love nonfiction. So the 2 topic ideas kind of go hand in hand, and that would be on writing and spirituality or on spirituality and minimalism. Those are more so to be shorter length. You know, it will probably be around 50,000 words finished rather than a whole novel, which is like 80,000 to 100,000 words. Those 50,000 novellas will probably be more so for self-publishing purposes, just to get a little extra side income, that sort of thing, and start gaining my writing audience. And then my last project is the possibility of putting together a poetry book. I write a lot of poetry. It's definitely not everyone's taste, but I really like to work on it. There's definitely like theme, like correlating themes that I like to write poetry about, and I think it would be fun to again maybe put those together in a novel, a short novel for self-publishing purposes. Basically, if you can't tell, I'm starting to really want to grow my reader audience and kind of start my writing career, build up a little bit of an audience so that way when I go to publish the traditional market, my life's work, my child, I have at least a little bit something to get me started. Maybe. So I'm really leaning towards writing one of the nonfiction pieces and editing that longer novel just because it has some characters that I really like and really miss working with. Okay, so I think I figured it out finally. I definitely want to do one of the nonfiction projects. So one of those would be writing in spirituality or minimalism in spirituality. I think I can write more about minimalism and spirituality. I was going through and like, what topics could I do for each, you know, what kind of chapters could I do? And I just kind of was thinking that I could definitely do more about the minimalism spirituality because there's a lot to minimalism and there's a lot to spirituality. And yes, there's a lot to writing, but in relating writing to spirituality, it's not as much. I couldn't come up with like as many chapters or topics. So maybe that would be like a short story that I'll just work on another time. And to avoid me getting burnt out in the midst of that, I'm gonna go for editing, which yes, NaNoWriMo is about writing 50,000 words a day, but a lot of people do editing projects at the same time or make it a challenge to edit their novel in a month because editing is another process that people find extremely difficult and hard. So yeah, those are the two projects I ended up deciding on. Let me know if you guys are thinking about doing NaNoWriMo and what your projects right now are brainstormed as. Let me know down in the comments or over on Instagram again. And definitely subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day because you definitely deserve it. What are your favorite notebooks to write in, guys? Like, I live for Vera Bradley notebooks. I love like the paper quality and like the line distance and all that good stuff. So if you have a favorite notebook company or if you have a favorite, do you write on Scrivener or do you write on Word? Like, or Google Docs, like let a girl know.